Hello there. I thought I would do a video because it's triple negative breast cancer day. Would you believe that's a thing too? They all are. Um, I've done a article which is on Make Seconds Count website and will probably be on their Facebook at some point. So you can read that. I'll share that later on. But I thought I'd just do a really quick video to acknowledge the day and to acknowledge what a shit it is as well. I was diagnosed initially with primary triple negative breast cancer in 2020, January 2020. And it just, I was breastfeeding my daughter and it was quite the shock, panicking obviously about am I going to be there to see her grow up. Went through treatment, which wasn't very nice, but we did it and I got the all clear in August 2020 and I thought that was it, let's get on with my life. I readjusted my life accordingly as well. It took me a long time to get over it and get over a lot of anxiety about reoccurrence and fatigue and all that sort of stuff that it left me with. But 2022, I had an amazing year. I was doing what I loved work-wise. I'd gone self-employed. I was doing marketing for a friend and I was doing my Reiki healing and meditation mindfulness workshops, and I was doing more qualifications training, and I just had this whole thing laid out for my future as to what I was going to be doing, and it was going that way and it was amazing, absolutely amazing. I was loving it and I would pinch myself like, am I, I wasn't earning huge amounts of money, but I was earning enough to live and do what I needed to do and take Grace out, things like that. So it was really, really good. And then Christmas of 2022, it all went to shit again. Second Christmas of my life that I've spent wondering, am I going to see the next one again? Thankfully I did, but I'm still left wondering, am I going to see the next one? It's because now it's forever. I was diagnosed with the secondary triple negative breast cancer because it had spread to my lung and in my lymph nodes. So initially it was a lump here that I felt. And I just knew, I had a bit of a virus at the time and I thought, oh, maybe it's that, but it wasn't going down. And when I saw the doctor, they straight away referred me and, hinted that it's likely to be cancer. And so they biopsied it and yes, triple negative breast cancer is back. And it's a particularly aggressive cancer. It also has very limited treatment options. So because there's no hormone involvement, there aren't as many treatment lines as there are if there's hormones involved, which is why I guess the life expectancy is generally lower because you run out of treatment lines. Fortunately, I'm a year in. I'm on my first treatment line still. I can't have the immunotherapy. I had seizures, which is quite a rare side effect apparently. I was nearly gone within the first couple of months because of those wonderful seizures, and it took me a long time to recover from those as well. But now I am, and I'm coping really well with the nab-paclitaxel chemotherapy, which I have every week for 3 weeks. Then I have a week off. I have it on a Tuesday. If I rest Wednesday and do nothing, which is really hard, I'm rubbish at doing nothing, but I'm getting used to it more and more. I tend to be able to get on as normal for the rest of the week. I lost my driving licence because of the seizures and I finally got that back. I'm so excited. And I can do what I want now and drive places. It's amazing because a lot of it is trying to spend quality time with Grace as much as I can, and I would get so frustrated that I couldn't just take her out somewhere or even just to go out for a walk up at the local National Trust place, things like that. It was just so frustrating. So now we can. I can take her to her gymnastics and sit there and watch her, and it's just amazing. So that's really good, and I am really coping with this chemotherapy very well. As you can see, I still even have hair. I did shave it off because it was falling out when I was in hospital after the seizures. It was falling out, and because it was so long, it was just loads of it was coming out, and I just couldn't cope with that amount of hair falling out, so I shaved it. But actually I still kept quite a lot of it. It's thinning, and in the sun I have to wear like a cap because otherwise I burn my scalp. But amazing, I even still have hair. So there's obviously been a few ups and downs through the process, times where I've needed blood transfusions and got infections, but overall I'm doing a bit well. My last scan showed no evidence of disease, so they couldn't see any cancer in my lungs, my lymph nodes. There's something in my tummy which they're not sure about. Unless we biopsy it, we don't know if it's cancer. My gut tells me, no pun intended, that possibly it isn't, because the cancers have changed that are showing, whereas what's in my tummy hasn't really changed one way or the other. And the consultant confirmed that they don't know unless they biopsy. So I'm going with, though it's not cancer, because I prefer that thought. So I tell myself that. Got lymphedema. Got a nice sleeve on now as well, because I've got lymphedema in my arm, which is 15% bigger than my other arm now. So I've got to be really careful about not damaging that arm, and massaging it and various things to get the fluid. That's because the lymph nodes are gone, so they get a build up of fluid. And but generally it's going okay. I had a scan last week, so now the wait is on to find out if the cancer is growing, or whether it's still stable at the moment. And that's the big thing at the moment. It's amazing. I can enjoy my life at the moment, despite weekly chemo, weekly blood tests, scans every few weeks and things like that. But I can get on with stuff, which is incredible. But it could change my next appointment. I dread that they phone me and say you have to come in for the appointment, because that's obviously going to be bad news. It's always by telephone, isn't it? So I do think it might be bad news if they said that. So fingers crossed it will be good news still. And this chemotherapy will continue working for some time. Eventually the cancer becomes resistant to it, which is why you then need another treatment. And there's a couple more that I can try once this one does stop. Although I don't like saying once it stops. I like to think it's never going to stop working. It will continue to work forever and ever and ever. And anybody that knows me will know that I'm throwing everything that I can in a holistic and integrative approach as well, as much as I can, and as much as I can afford. Everything costs money, doesn't it? But I'm just back from an amazing holiday with my daughter and family, which has just been wonderful. And it looks like I am going to Iceland in July, so I'm really, 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 really excited, because that is like my biggest thing that I want to do while I can. And I do get in a bit of a panic that I need to do these things while I can, because in a few months things might change. Next year might be very different. A different chemotherapy might wipe me out completely. I might not be able to get out and do stuff. So even if the chemotherapy is keeping the cancer at bay, doesn't necessarily mean you have a quality of life. So at the moment, the cancer is under control and I have a quality of life, which I couldn't ask for more. Well, I could ask to be cancer-free forever, couldn't I? But yeah, why get greedy? I'm going to be greedy. No cancer, please. So triple negative breast cancer awareness day. It fucking sucks, basically. It's out there, it sucks. It does affect younger people often. So a lot of people have got kids like me, and not just triple negative, obviously that happens in all cancers. And then it's the options of fertility as well. So if you haven't got kids, there's that grief as well that can be taken away, that you may not be able to then go on to have children after treatment, and have to look at fertility and having your eggs frozen. So many intricacies with it, and so many different levels of emotion and trauma that go with such a diagnosis. But yes, my t-shirt says it's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Yes, it's fine. Honestly. Happy triple negative cancer day.